Welcome back. I hope you had a good weekend. This is the Jose Soto Show. You are listening to Jose Soto. Okay, now it looks like poor Joe Jervis. Joe, my God. Oh. Joe, my God. It appears that he received a couple of death threats. Well, that's according to him. So the advocate picked this up today. And to be honest with you, this isn't really news. But of course, Joe Jervis, who is basically a little hen clocking away, pretending that he is important to the gay community, but he's not. Somebody told me today that he is a national LGBT blogger. Well, how can he be LGBT? He's not a lesbian. He might be gay, I know that for sure. He's a big homo. That's guaranteed. Bisexual, I don't think so. Transgender, well, I think he likes his gender. Somebody told me that today. Like, if I'm supposed to be, what? Nationally recognized? Like who? Lady Gaga is nationally recognized. I accept that. I don't like it, but I accept it. If I go down the street and ask some schmo and say to him, hey, do you know who Joe Jervis is? They'll be like, huh? Joe who? Joe Jervis from Joe My God. You know, that guy who likes to write and post pictures of crotches. Yeah, male crotches. Guys with boners. Well, that's pretty interesting, right? That deserves an award. And we have other people who, and bloggers who give us really good news. I think Andy Tao Road is a little bit more, it's better than Joe My God will ever be. Let me just say that. I like Andy Tao better. I don't like him personally. I never met the guy. But Tao Road is a better blog than Joe will ever be. And Joe knows this. Joe cannot be at that level. He can't. That's why Joe has to go and pretend that he is a national syndicated, nationally recognized LGBT blogger. As if that is something that should make me, I don't know what, shake into my boots, melt in front of him. When I see him, I want to suck his cock. That's what we are about here. So let me just go ahead and give you the information here. This is the advocate. This is what they picked up. And this is not the first time that Joe My God, Joe Jervis, Joe My Cock has been into trouble lately. He has received not only death threats, he has, but he gets into a lot of fights on Twitter, and I don't, I sometimes don't do that. Why do you want to get into fights with people? People come and fight me. When I posted my theory that the Family Research Council shooting was a stage event, everybody, well, not everybody, but a couple of teabaggers were really pissed off. And they had a problem with me, obviously, but it's not really my problem, so I blew them off. They tweeted me and said, well, what's your problem? What the hell is your problem here? Why do you come to me for it? I mean, you obviously have some psychological issues. And there are people on Twitter that have psychological issues. So why are we so surprised when somebody is sending out these pseudo threats or whatever they are to Joe Jervis? I get them every week. I get threats all the time. I don't report them. I'm not afraid of anybody. Alright? But Joe, oh my god, he had, oh, Joe, my god. Joe, oh my god, he got a threat on Twitter. Did he get a burning cross in front of his lawn? No. Did he receive a little threatening letter nailed to his front door? No. Nobody really cares who Joe Jervis is. Joe Jervis is a talentless individual. He has no talent. He has nothing to contribute to the gay community other than just being another mouthpiece for the Obama administration. That's all he is. He is just a mouthpiece. He regurgitates and regurgitates and regurgitates. That's what he does. And to be honest with you, I don't think his website, his blog is that good. I mean, it's crap. It's shit. It's garbage. And I know a lot of people love that site. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't be so proud of that. I wouldn't. I mean, the site is pretty much garbage. And the news that's on that site, you can pretty much get that news anywhere else. Get it at the Gay Report. You get it at The Advocate. You can get it at Tile Road. You can get it anywhere else. LGBT Progress. I mean, there are so many other good websites out there. Why do we need to go down to this garbage? You go to his website, you obviously see a lot of his defenders. I mean, this guy has fanatics that defend him all the time. Joe Jervis, he is the supreme master of gay blogging. And if you go to his site, you're going to see all these, awards, and not many of them are awards. He came in second place, third place, whatever. And he's trying to flaunt all of these awards. Like, if an award makes you good, right? Like, if an award makes you a better blogger, a better radio host, or a better person. If a person depends on awards like that, fake little awards, like this web blogger award, blogger of the year, blah, blah, blah bullshit. That is a person that is totally desperate for acceptance. I'm not desperate for acceptance. I don't really care. I say my opinion. Whether it's popular, unpopular, whether it's proven or unproven. I will say it because that's what I think. And I don't need anybody's approval. I don't need no fucking awards. In fact, if one of these days I get an award for somebody, GLAAD or whoever, I'm not going to accept it. I'm not. I'm not doing this for awards, to win an award or anything like that. I'm doing this because I want to talk. Because I love doing this. Because I love talking to people. And I love to express myself. And I want to educate some people sometimes. I mean, there are things that I think need to be discussed. And we will go through all those issues on this program. And we will do so diligently, respectfully, and of course, in a comical way. Because comedy really helps alleviate us a little bit. And it does. I like comedy. And when people like Joe Jervis, who are too serious, too rigid, too callous and cold like Joe Jervis, who only care about themselves, who only care about their egos, you're obviously going to have people who don't really care about whatever they think they care about or whatever they express that they care about. Joe Jervis can sing all day and say that he cares about the gay community. Kumbaya, hold each other's hands. Bullshit. He doesn't care about the gay community. He doesn't. He's a blogger. He's a freelance writer. He makes his living creating bullshit on the internet. Now, that's fine. I have nothing against that. A man's got to eat. But don't tell me that, oh, he's the best. Oh, don't tell me, oh my God. The reason why he called his blog Joe My God was because of the atheism. People tell me, well, it's a gay blog. No, it's not. It's a gay, leftist, atheist blog. I have nothing against atheists. Nothing against leftists. Just like I have nothing against right-wingers. I just don't like their fanaticism. I don't like the fact that they put ideology before people. That's what I don't like. And there are a lot of atheists or fanatics who don't care about other people's feelings, who don't care who they hurt. When it comes down to those kinds of things. Do I believe in religion? No, I don't. I think religion is basically a money-making scheme. Nothing personal there. But Joe Jervis, he really makes things personal. He takes things to the extreme. And it's not funny. It's not creative. It's totally lame, stupid, obnoxious, and annoying. Because now, I get this news article in my inbox. Joe, my God. Joe Jervis receives... Oh, I like the title. Joe, my God's Joe Jervis. Look, there's only one guy that works at that blog, and it's Joe Jervis. That's why it's called Joe, my God. Who else could it be? His aunt? His little turtle or whatever pet he has? I don't think that guy has any pets. I mean, this guy is callous, heartless individual. And you should see his interactions on Twitter with other people. That's why, while we at the Gay Report, we decided no interactions. We've already been through a lot of that shit. People sending us threats and all that. Just don't deal with it. You are on Twitter to do something, to promote something, to interact at a certain level, not personal. I mean, why do people always take things personal? To the nth degree. On Twitter, of all places. On the internet, where people can be anonymous. People don't look each other in the eyes, face to face, man to man. Because people are cowards, just like Joe Jervis. He'll never face me. He'll never face his enemies. Well, I'm not his enemy, but I don't really care. But what I really am getting annoyed is all these little fanatics of his site who are telling me, Jose Soto, that Joe Jervis deserves to have this attention because he received a threat. Really? I received many threats. Why doesn't the advocate cover that threat? I mean, I reported to the FBI. The guy was arrested who did the threat against me. He threatened against me, the show, the other things we were doing. But I kept it under wraps. I didn't want this to go out into the media. I didn't tell anybody. I could have told the advocate probably. Maybe they wouldn't care. The advocate are really close to Joe My God. They're really close. But that's okay. I don't really care. As long as the advocate doesn't publish any of the garbage that Joe does, I'm okay with it. But now, I mean, this is like, why is this news? Why should I care? Why should anybody care? Go down the street and ask any homo, do you know who Joe Jervis is? Huh? Joe My God, Joe Jervis. Huh? But ask any homo down the street where I live. Ask them about Lady Gaga. They'll know. Lady Gaga. Madonna. Oh yeah, I know everything about Madonna. Margaret Cho. Oh yeah, I know Margaret Cho. Huh? Elton John. Oh, I know Elton John. Yeah, I know about it. Yeah, I bought his album. Yeah. You know about Ellen DeGeneres? Oh yeah, I watch her show every day. Yeah, Ellen, she's really funny. Joe Jervis? Huh? Joe who? Joe My God. He's a famous, nationally syndicated, nationally recognized LGBT blogger. You should know. His fanatics telling me that you should know. Right? Because this world, this community cannot live without a blog like Joe My God. We have to have posts of pictures of males' crotches. And that is, high quality blogging and posting. That is what makes a great blog that deserves the GLAAD Award for 2010 or 11, whenever that was. And I was pretty glad, if you want to say that GLAAD gave the award. They took the award away from Joe and they gave it to Andy. I think that was a little bit more appropriate. I like how Andy does his thing. He doesn't get too personal with these things, but I bet, and Andy gets a lot of garbage. Andy gets threats. I know he does. I get threats, and my operation is really small compared to theirs. But I get threats every week. I do nothing about them because I know they're empty threats. They're not real threats, except for the one that I reported to the FBI. Why did I do that? Because the person that did that got my address somehow. So that's the only reason why I reported it. So, but did the gay media come down? The advocate, whoever? No, I didn't want them to come down. I didn't want to say anything. But Joe, I received a threat. Oh no, I'm gonna report it to Twitter. I'm gonna, please. He knows. He even admitted it that Twitter doesn't really do anything about these threats, and they don't. I mean, you're not an important person, and I know that if this would have been done to Lady Gaga, or done to Elton John, George Takei, even that guy, if this threat was against those people, I bet you Twitter would have been on this case right away. But since you're a nobody, Joe Jervis, they don't give a shit. Okay? That's why Joe is having a hard time trying to understand this. He says, "Oh, I do." Twitter kind of, yeah. The reason why Twitter didn't do anything about it is because Joe is a nobody, and he's trying to create himself to be somebody with this garbage blog that he has that really nobody really reads. I mean, the only people that read it, I know who they are. They're these type of people that don't have any appreciation for real good blogging and reporting. And and there are better blogs out there. I even say that Andy Tao Road is a better site, a way better blog. The New Civil Rights Movement, that's a better blog. I mean, anything else, even Media Matters is a better site than this garbage. Let me just tell you that. And I'm saying that's my opinion. Can I have that opinion? Is it a crime to criticize Joe Jervis? Because, like the title says, Joe my God. He is God. He's trying to place himself as a God. Don't criticize me. I am God. I am Joe Jervis, the God of gay blogging universe. We'll be right back. Alright, now let's go ahead and read the article. So-called article. I mean, basically this is free publicity for Joe. And that might be due to the fact that his blog, if you want to call it a blog, is going down a little bit on the traffic ratings and stuff. So that's fine. I'm not going to go into that. But let's see what this article has to say. And believe me, if you are a Joe Jervis fan, don't take this personally. Don't say that I'm a bad guy. Can people have different opinions than what's being puked and regurgitated out of these people's shit-filled mouths? Can we have different opinions as far as, yes, I don't think I like this blog, and the reason is because of XYZ. People are not entitled to their opinions now, are they? Especially when it comes to Joe my God. Now here the thing. Now the thing is that we can criticize, and I wholeheartedly agree. Criticize the Family Research Council. Criticize all these anti-gay groups and websites, and I say because they're garbage. Most of the things that they put out is lies. and bullshit. And when Joe My God puts out lies and bullshit and defames people and takes pictures of crotches, and nothing against that, but if you're going to have pictures of crotches, there are certain websites dedicated to that. And when I want to see a crotch, I will go to one of those websites. Joe My God, I thought, was a serious blog about, I don't know what, leftist, liberal, gay, what I know, gay stories, posts. I mean, what does Joe My God offer that nobody else can? I mean, what's so special about this guy? What's so talented? What's his talent? I mean, what does he provide that makes you think that this is the best website in the world? I really want to know that. I really do. Well, let's get into the article then. Joe My God's Joe Jervis receives hanging threat for FRC Family Research Council tweets. Like, if this doesn't happen, like, why are we acting so surprised? It happened. In fact, it happened to me already on Twitter. What I did was I blocked the guy who did it. And I just deleted the tweet. Move on. Move on! People cannot move on, can they? Gay blogger. Oh, really? I thought he was the atheist blogger, the leftist blogger, the liberal blogger, the Democratic Party blogger. But today, he is the gay blogger. That's what he is. So we, the gay community, can feel some sort of fake sympathy for this guy, right? And also to be angry about this whole... Well, they're trying to make it look like hypocrisy of the Family Research Council. I don't know how you can do that. Just like how can you pinpoint and blame the gay community over this shooting? Gay blogger Joe Jervis of Joe My God reports he received death threats after tweeting information about the Family Research Council's history of hateful activism. Okay. So I received death threats when was the last time? I think it was on Thursday I received a death threat on Twitter. Why? Because I said that the whole thing was staged. The whole shooting staged to make it look like the gays are after us. That will bring up more that will give rise and ammunition for the base of the Republican Party, the evangelical anti-gay base. That's what they need for Mittens, the Mormon, to succeed. That's what I've been saying all this time. That this shooting does two things. It makes Family Research Council seem less hateful. And that's what it did. First thing that Tony Perkins, the first thing that came out of his mouth, this guy, an operative for the CIA and for the Homeland Security Department, who worked in counterterrorism, by the way, just to let you know, wink wink, this guy, first thing that comes out of his mouth, oh, it's the Southern Poverty Law Center's fault. They need to stop calling us a hate group. There you go. The motive is right there. That's the motive, the initial motive for the Family Research Council to stage their own event. The other motive is that, of course, this will rile up the base for Mittens Romney. That's what it is. After last week's shooting at the headquarters of the Conservative Family Research Council, Jervis tweeted out links to examples of the organization's anti-gay efforts, and then later, he doesn't do that. I mean, he does that and then he tweets other bullshit. I mean, some of the tweets, because I used to follow him a year ago, some of the tweets are completely annoying. And then he gets into these petty fights with people. When people want to fight me, I just blow them off. I tell him, yeah, go fuck you and get the fuck out of my dash. But to start arguing and then calling each other names, please, it's beyond me. Jervis tweeted out links to examples of the organization's anti-gay efforts and later its president, Tony Perkins' association with white supremacist groups. Yeah, because he worked in counterterrorism. That's what he was doing. He was, to me, that situation, which I read about, was, to me, his infiltration of that group. This guy, Tony Perkins, he's not who he is. He's not who he say he is. He is an operative, a mole. That's who he is. He's an operative. He pulls the strings, but somebody else pulls his strings. I know that for a fact. Quote, remember how the FRC and all the rest declared it is a badge of honor to be called a hate group by the Southern Poverty Law Center? Alright, well, you make a good point with that. But some of the other shit that he comes out with, oh, come on. You know, I don't want to just deal with that, so I unfollowed him. Then, you know, he tried to... When I said stop with this whole Obama bullshit, I don't want to listen to this. I don't want to... If I want to see what Obama's doing and doing that, then I'll follow Democrats. But I don't really care. Stop it. And he got all mad. In fact, it wasn't even directed towards him. He just picked it up and started tweeting me. Like, if I need to talk to that guy. Like, he's gonna come in and discipline me. Because I'm the gay child that doesn't want to, you know, do what he is told. To subscribe and obey to the Obama machine. I don't. I'm sorry. Hate me. That's alright. But you're going to have to wait in line to hate me. That didn't sit well with conservative pundits who defended FRC. In a blog post published Monday, Jervis posted 2 images from Twitter showing the kinds of responses he got. One is from CNN contributor Dana Loesch. Who cares about Dana Loesch? Who the fuck is this Dana Loesch? You know, I never heard of her until now, to be honest with you. Nobody sees CNN. Nobody watches that pathetic news organization, news channel, if it can be called a news channel. Nobody watches that shit. So who the fuck cares what Dana Loesch? And of course you have Joe Jervis, another cockroach who I don't really care about. Ugh. It's like 2 cockroaches going at it, fighting for each other for a piece of cheese. Who the fuck cares? Dana Loesch. Who the fuck is Dana Loesch? So they're saying that she made a threat. Well, what's the threat then? I'm blocking... Well, this is what she says. This is her tweet. I'm blocking the Joe guy apparently celebrating the FRC shooting. FYI, he worked really hard to incite hate last week. He needs to rest. That's not a threat. Is that a threat? Is that all? That's a threat, right? Yeah. Yeah. That's a threat. When I got my threat from this guy who said that he had my address and he published my address on his Twitter feed and he posted a picture of himself with a knife, that is when okay, now this is a threat, and I didn't want to get into this too much, but then I called the FBI. The FBI took the case and they handled it themselves. And apparently, you know, the guy got arrested. But, I mean, this was not even close to anything. Now, the next tweet here says, advocate. Another Twitter user sent Jervis a photo of a person hanged from a crane with the caption, quote, We plan on celebrating your lifestyle with cranes. And it's a picture of a crane hanging a guy from his neck. He was being hung to death, I think, for being gay. I don't know. But is this really... No, this didn't really come close to what I got. And even what I got when I complained to Twitter about it, they said, oh no, it's not really a threat. But there you go. That's what Joe Jervis got. Oh God, stop the presses. Stop the presses. Joe Jervis got an image of a gay guy, a gay Arab guy being hung from a crane. Oh, Jesus Christ, stop the presses. And now Joe is apparently getting free publicity. And of course, the poor guy that is in the picture who was being hung, the real guy, the real gay guy who was being hung from a crane, he's being used by Joe Jervis, obviously, to get more attention. And I think that is pretty lame. I think that's pretty lame. I wouldn't be, even if I got this, the same, why deal with this shit? Why deal with this shit? Why do you waste your time on this shit? And now, of course, I devoted time on this show dedicated to Joe Jervis and his little crybaby episodes. I am doing this. I am letting you know exactly why this man, Joe Jervis, is doing what he's doing. This is a man who cares not about the gay community, who cares not about the news, who cares not about anything else but himself, his little ego, and he has his little site with all of his little badges of honor. He got all these little trophies, right? It's like if you go to Chuck E. Cheese's and you get those little trophies after you get so many tickets, after you win so many tickets playing with the little machines, Chuck E. Cheese's. Yeah, and then they give you all these fake little plastic trophies, and then you hang them up on your wall. You're like, look, I want to Chuck E. Cheese's. Really? Pathetic. Pathetic. And this is what the guy does all day, basically. He likes getting threats. I mean, he's just like the Family Research Council. He's like the right wing. He is the right wing. Except he's a gay guy who's pro-gay, an atheist, and a leftist. But they all operate the same way. They like to be the victims. They want to be victimized so everybody can, oh my God, who's the more victim than who? Having this pissing competition of who is more of the victim. Well, guess what, everybody? Everybody is a victim here in this country. Everybody is. Of course we are. But nobody is more victimized than anybody else. We live in a society, we live in a country in which money rules, people die. That's how it is. Systems work and they last forever. People die. They are abused, they are used, brainwashed, raped, robbed. That's what the system is all about here in America. I mean, I love this country so much. I don't want the system to rule. I want a different system. I want something else. That's what I want. And Joe Jervis doesn't want that. He just wants to get his, get his ass all over the papers again. And it's a good way. It's a good way to look. Oh no, look at me. Oh no, I'm being attacked. Everybody come read my website. Come read my blog. Oh no, I'm being attacked. Come on. Please. I can do better than this. I can pull a better stunt. Believe me, I can. No, I don't believe this was staged. It could have been. I don't know. I mean, how hard is it to fake a Twitter account and send a threatening Twitter message to yourself? And he didn't have to report it to Twitter. All he has to say is, yes, I report to Twitter, because those messages between Twitter and the user are confidential. So he could have just not reported this. He could have just, yes, I talked to Twitter, and Twitter said it's not threatening and all that. Yeah, of course. I don't know. I have no evidence for that. I have nothing to really say about that. But yeah, it could have been faked. He could have faked this whole thing, but I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think Joe will stoop that low, as his friends over at the Family Research Council have done. So, anyway, let's take a short little break. Why not? But Joe, don't worry, Joe. You'll be all right. You'll make through. You'll survive. Unlike anybody else, right? You're special. You're talented. I want to suck your cock, Joe Jervis. Oh yes, Joe's cock. Oh. We'll be right back. Now let's touch bases again with the whole Family Research Council shooting. In my comments, people getting angry and upset. I don't really care. I mean, if you're upset, that's your fucking business. All I stated was, I believe that this guy was under the influence of something. He's probably taking medications, easily manipulated, easily brainwashed under those conditions. The guy had no job, basically a nobody, a loser. He had nothing going for him. He lived with his parents. Nothing wrong with that. But he had no job. He had nothing. He was doing nothing. Yet, he started to volunteer at the DC Center, and we just found this out shortly before this shooting. Again, that really confirms to me something is fishy. Something is not right. The guy, the shooter, Floyd Corkins, he was a volunteer at the gay DC Center right before all of this happened at the headquarters of the Family Research Council. Then he had a bag of 15, count them, 15 Chick-fil-A sandwiches. What the hell is that? You know, what was he going to do with that? Have a picnic? No, it was a prop. It's stage prop. If this doesn't sound fake to you, then I don't know what is. I don't know how much I can convince you. And in fact, it's up to you to decide. I mean, it's your business. But I'm telling you why I believe this. This whole thing, I smell a rat. And the rat is, of course, Tony Perkins. Somebody in government, probably. I'm not sure. Maybe somebody up in the FBI knew about this. Remember, they had a rap sheet on the guy who did the shootings in Colorado and the guy who did the shootings at the Sikh temple up in Wisconsin, and they had a rap sheet. Now, the FBI is not going to call this a hate crime. I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised if they did. You know, to up the ante a little bit. But if they don't want to piss off a lot of people, I think they're going to try to keep this under wraps. All they want to do, and all I think they're going to do, is to use this event to fundraise, to round up the bases for Mitt Romney, to get everybody behind Mitt Romney, especially the evangelicals who have this antagonism against gays and lesbians, to get them motivated that, hey, look, you're going to have all these homos and all these dykes. They're going to go after us. They're going to come at us with their guns now. They have guns, oh no, and a bag full of Chick-fil-A sandwiches, right? Yeah, of course. Yeah. He had a bag full of Chick-fil-A sandwiches. while this whole Chick-fil-A controversy was dying down, all of a sudden a guy, a no-life, who just started volunteering at the DC Gay Center, high on drugs, high on medications, goes up with a pistol to the headquarters of the Family Research Council in the middle of Washington, D.C., not the bad area, the good area, where it's heavily monitored because there's a lot of federal buildings all around, headquarters of many other big organizations, and you also have embassies all around that area. And this guy had to go in the middle of all that with a gun and a bag of Chick-fil-A sandwiches, alright? I mean, if you cannot grasp that this could have been staged, I don't know what to tell you. Everybody that has changed the course of human history has done some sort of COINTELPRO, some form of false flag attacks in order to make themselves look good, win the argument, win public affection, and the support of the public and the voters at large. That's what Hitler did. That's what many other leaders have done. Napoleon did that. Mussolini did that. Mao Zedong. I mean, and the list goes on and on. Stalin, he did it all the time. Basically, get somebody to shoot somebody and blame it on your enemies. Or get somebody to blow up something and blame it on your enemies. That's how you win this debate. That's how you win any debate. And, of course, their biggest enemy, the Family Research Council, was the Southern Poverty Law Center, because they're now being classified as a hate group. And now they're trying to justify that Southern Poverty Law Center has encouraged this hatred. It has encouraged the shooter to do so. You see? I mean, it's all scripted. This is the best way to get at the Southern Poverty Law Center, to get at the other side of the coin. To get at your enemies. Is you get somebody to do this heinous crime, and then you blame it on them. That's how it's done. I mean, they're doing it by the book. They're doing it by the book. And the fact that Alex Jones is not talking about it, I mean, that also sends a huge nod to the Family Research Council. And the fact that Alex Jones is working for the Mitt Romney campaign, that's for sure. That is what I am beginning to notice. Not just this thing, but many other things. Many other things. Many other things. But people get really upset. And that's fine. Get upset. But don't come to my Twitter feed, don't come to my, don't send me tweets and telling me, oh yeah, and slobber all over the place. Mouth yourself off like a stupid idiot. At least know how to come at me. At least have something, some sort of intelligent thing to say. Not just, oh, you're a fucking idiot, you're this or that, you're a fucking faggot, telling me all this bullshit. And fanatics, whether they're in the left or in the right wing, it doesn't matter. They're fanatics. They're idiots. They're useful morons. They don't know what they want. They don't know what they want. All they know is that they're getting protected by some other ideology. This ideology that they protect. Left wing, right wing, both of which are totally foreign to this country. Nobody's talking about the American system that we've had for the last 100 years. Nobody's talking about that. Everybody's talking about, well, we need to get we don't need no government. No, genius. We do need a fire department. We do need hospitals. We do need schools. What do you mean? Who are you? I know who you are. You are some Austrian theologian. You believe in this religion that if we eliminate the government, and if we destroy all of our society, if we destroy schools, we destroy everything that we ever built in this country, destroy the railways, destroy the sewer system, destroy the electricity, destroy every public works that we've ever done. And what do you have? Nothing. You have a dead society, you have a broken down society. And then you have the left doing other things as well. Trying to say, oh, we don't need any guns. Oh, what do you mean we don't need any guns? Tell that to that guy, to that gay guy in Oklahoma City who got his car bombed. Tell that to the lesbian in Missouri who got attacked by this homophobic little neighbor girl that beat her up to a pulp and almost busted her eye out. Tell that to them, that they don't need protection, that they don't need to defend themselves. And then the leftists do the same thing as the right-wingers. Oh, no, what we can do is we can bail out the banks, and then the banks, we need to bail out the banks. We need to bail out the banks. We need to be in Libya. We need to be in Iraq. I mean, the leftists are warmongers as well. Yeah, that's what they are. And they believe in bailing out banks, big insurance companies with this Obamacare legislation. The leftists love to serve the control freaks of this country, the controllers, the masters. That's who they serve. And the right-wingers do the same thing. They pretend, no, I serve natural God, or whatever they say. Oh, I serve God. Who's God? The God of the Bible? Of course you do. Because the God of the Bible, as interpreted by centuries of European rule, is the Vatican. It's European aristocracy. That's what you worship. Don't give me this bullshit, oh, you worship Jesus Christ, or you're worshiping the creator of the universe. The creator of the universe has no interest whatsoever which country wins or loses. Reality check. Because if nature, Mother Nature, if the universe really wanted the U.S. to be the example of everything and everything that we know, then the U.S. would have been all over the world, but it hasn't. For most of our human history, what we have had is monarchies, feudalism, theocracy. And what they want us to say is that God and natural law, that's where we go, meaning that you go back to the Vatican, because that's where this whole idea of God's law, which is fascism, and natural law, that's where it all comes from. It doesn't come from anything else. Social Darwinism comes from the Vatican. This whole thing that the fittest will survive. Not every human, not the fact that people have morality. And morality shall make us survive. If we use our morality, the fact that every human being is precious, and we shouldn't be worshipping this social Darwinistic, pseudo-libertarian ideology that only the fittest will survive. Only the strongest can compete in the free market. And everybody else has to just die. Get old, get sick, get poor, and die. You piece of shit. You dog. You animal. That's how they view us. That's how they view you and me. We cannot stand for this. And believe me, the Family Research Council and all this, the whole shooting, everything, is just another way and an example of how ideologies, fanaticism, can totally distract us from the real thing, the real issues. I mean, that's what it is. Call me whatever you want to call me. Call me a moron. Call me an idiot. Call me whatever you want to call me. A loon. I really don't care. To be honest with you, I mean, it's just annoying to me that I get these things in my dash. But please, at least have something better to say. But of course, you're going to regurgitate what your controllers in Fox News and MSNBC, CNN, whatever they tell you. You can't think for yourself. You have to read the news. But it's not the news. It's propaganda. That's what it is. Because the news will cover everything. And it doesn't. That's why we got... Where do we get the word news from? The word news is the acronym that we get from all points being covered. North, east, west, and south. North, east, west, and south. News. You get it? I get it. But a lot of people don't get it. They're still going to be so distracted with this PSYOP, this stage event at the Family Research Council. And of course, here's Joe Jervis to add more fuel to the fire. And it's about him now. I got the threat. No, fuck you. Who the fuck cares that you got a threat? How does that affect anybody? How does that affect you or me or any other person? It doesn't. It affects Joe. But that's his problem. Why is it my problem? Why should I read about it? Why should I talk about it on the Jose Soto Show? Why do I get emails about this little event with Joe Jervis? Who the fuck cares? Nobody cares. Move on. We'll be right back. Alright, now let's go over to Madonna. Madonna. She was at a concert over in Russia, St. Petersburg. Now, for those of you who don't know, in St. Petersburg, in Russia, for the most part, well, Russia's a pretty homophobic country. I mean, if you wear a rainbow flag anywhere, they're going to beat your ass up. I mean, it's a country full of thugs, basically. I mean, that's what it is. It's a really thuggish country. I mean, it's the birthplace of the KGB. I mean, what do you expect? You think Vladimir Putin is a nice guy because he wears a cross like George W. Bush thought? Yeah, okay, yeah. Like if I'm going to take some idiot's word like that. But in reality, I want to say this, and I know that a lot of right-wingers are saying that it's Russia, we have to look after Russia. Now, Russia's not really it's not a powerful nation anymore. The Russia Federation, come on, please. They cannot even build proper roads. Can't even get sewer connections anywhere. I mean, there are still a lot of people in Russia without any electricity. Just to let you know. I mean, so, what do you mean? I mean, they couldn't even get anybody on the moon. I mean, not that I know of. But who knows, right? I mean, that's also another story. But the Russians, I mean, what do they have? I mean, they have a really low economy, low GDP. Everybody there's almost uneducated. Everybody there is a drunkard. A violent place to live. And I'm supposed to be afraid of this country? Can't even put itself together like this? I mean, come on. Give me a break. We're supposed to be fearful of Russia, but then Madonna goes over to Russia and she took the time from her concert to talk about gay rights. As though she is the mistress of gay rights. And I have nothing against Madonna personally. She's in a feud with Elton John because Elton John thinks she's over, and I'm not a Madonna fan at all, but I'm not really against her. And there are negatives and positives with what she did in St. Petersburg. We're talking about this. There are some Russian activists who say that her presence really makes it worse. Yeah, well, I think she does. I mean, she cares to an extent, but she could have canceled her tour in Russia. I mean, that would have been something. I mean, that probably would have sent a stronger message. I think. I'm not going to go into Russia because I'm going to get in, well, she wanted to get in trouble. She wanted to be in the news. Like everybody does. A free publicity. And then, of course, because of her performance and her support for gay rights during the concert, she was sued. Yeah, she got sued by anti-gay activists in Russia for $10 million. $10 fucking million. $10 million. Mm-hmm. I mean, talk about frivolous lawsuits. And the reason why they sued Madonna for $10 million, I mean, get this, because she hurt their feelings. Aww, poor people. I mean, this is Russia, the thugs of the world. Anyway, Madonna was over at the St. Petersburg, and let's play a little bit of her speech about gay rights. This is during her concert in St. Petersburg. And remember, St. Petersburg has this law against you speaking in favor of gay rights. They don't believe in freedom of speech, freedom of expression, but yet conservatives want to apply the same kind of policies that the KGB thugs in Russia have. I mean, this is total fascism. They unite with the church to basically quash any freedom of expression, of speech, or of the press. Anybody. And yeah, I mean, that's a problem if you live in Russia. Huge problem. Okay, let's play this clip. This is Madonna at her concert in St. Petersburg.
To be who we are. Yes? Yes. It's a very strange time in the world. I'm traveling around the world, and I feel it in the air. I feel that people are becoming more and more afraid of people who are different. People are becoming more and more intolerant, okay? It's a very scary time, but we can make a difference. We can change this. We have the power.
Okay, well, I don't know about that. This whole anti-gay laws in Russia, it's pretty new, to be honest with you. You changed this. I mean, if you look at the polls in Russia, I don't think you can't. But I know why she's saying this, because, of course, you have this anti-gay law. You have a lot of gay fans. I mean, there are more gay fans in the U.S. or in North America, in some parts of Europe, than you have in Russia. I suppose so. So she's doing this not because she cares about the Russian people, or the gay Russians, if there were any. And there were some in there in the concert waving some rainbow flags. But as far as she's doing this to really support and make a difference inside Russia, I don't know about that. That sounds pretty outlandish to me.
Yes, and we don't have to do it with violence. We just have to do it with love. Let me read it out loud. At the center of nonviolence stands the principle of love. And who said that? Martin Luther King said that. Martin Luther King Jr. Thank you.
And it really bothers me when people quote MLK all the time. Just leave him alone already. I mean, aren't there any other people that we can quote? And it's not that I have anything against MLK, just, I mean, the right wing, they use him all the time. You have all these anti-gay marriage guys, all these anti-gay marriage morons using MLK. They're saying, oh, MLK never really fought for gay rights. Oh, he would have been against gay marriage, blah, blah, blah. You know, he fought for the Negro. He fought for the color of skin because of some sexual deviant behavior, blah, blah, blah. Always, everybody, I mean, MLK is so fluid. It doesn't really mean anything anymore. It doesn't really mean anything anymore to quote this guy. I'm sorry, it doesn't anymore. Yeah, he created a lot of change. Yeah, he said some beautiful things, blah, blah, blah. But in reality, today we live in a whole different world. Same shit, different world.
And he fought for the rights of African and African American people. He fought for their right to be equal, to be treated equal, to be treated with tolerance, love, and human dignity. Right?
Yeah.
He fought and he died for this principle. Okay? Now,
Okay.
I am here to say that the gay community and gay people here and all around the world have the same rights. The same rights to be treated with dignity.
You know, when she said that, I don't see that many people. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of people applauding, but a lot of other people, the majority of them, they're just sitting there silently. They're like, oh great, now she's gonna do this whole gay thing. I mean, you're in fucking Russia. It's not like you're in West Hollywood. Again, she's doing this for who? Not for the Russians. She's doing it for us here in America.
With respect, with tolerance, with compassion, with love. Yes? Are you with me? If you're with me, I want to see your pink armband. If you're with me, raise your arm and show your love and appreciation for the gay community. Are you with me? Are you with me? I said, are you motherfucking with me?
Fucking with me!
Thank you. And this is for people who are quoting the Bible and using God as their defense mechanism. Jesus preached this, Muhammad preached this, Buddha preached this, Moses preached this. It's in every holy book. Love thy neighbor as thyself, okay? So, you cannot use religion to treat other people badly. You cannot use God's name to treat other people badly. We all deserve love. So, let's all go out into the world.
Of course, if you're gonna pay a lot of money to go into this concert, yeah, did you feel the love? I wouldn't. I'd be like, damn, I spent this much money on this? How much money? How many rubles? I think it was a lot of money.
And spread this message of love and live our life without fear. Amen. And live our life with love.
Alright, let's stop that. Alright, so that's Madonna. Yelling and screaming. Well, she wasn't really screaming, but... she knew what was going on. She knew she was going to come into a country like Russia, and the gays were going to have a little fit about this. What do I mean you're going to go into Russia? So, to compensate for her mistake, alright, she made this little clip, this little spiel about tolerance and all that stuff. Well, maybe. Some people really get this, some people don't. The thing is that the people who don't get this are the people who yell and scream at me, and some of those are the gays. You know, there's some homos out there that really hate what I say. I'm sorry. You know, that's your problem. I thought you tolerated other people's opinions. And it's not that, you know, it's not I'm going out there saying, you know, anti-gay stuff. I'm not, you know, obviously, because I'm a homo myself. I'm just saying things that are not part of the script, that's all. And when that happens, when I say things are not part of the script, people lose their minds. I mean, they run around like headless chickens. They don't know what to do, they don't know how to respond. And that's unfortunate, because if people knew how to grasp reality and be good at what they do, we wouldn't have that many problems. But instead, we live through other people's lives. Either that would be Madonna or somebody else, or Lady Gaga and her little monsters, whatever that is, bunch of freaks. And people enjoy being freaks. I mean, they don't want to be normal. They don't want to be having a normal human life or experience real human intelligence and consciousness and spirituality. Okay, what they want is just to be outside of anything that you do. It's to be the contrarian to anything that we as a society have adopted. But that's fine. And people were telling me, oh, did you see this Madonna thing? Did you see? Oh yeah, I'm seeing it. Am I impressed by this? Am I impressed by this? I don't think so. I've seen better. Be honest with you, I've seen better, I've heard better stuff. And she had to do this because, you know, she's in Russia and this whole anti-gay thing, anti-gay law, you know, to protect her album sales. That's the thing. Yeah, maybe she does care to an extent. But why should she? She has all this money, all this power. Why would she care about anything? Alright? Anyway, we'll be right back after this short break. Alright, now let's get into some of the news today. You know, lately I've been trying to go over the news, and well, first of all, before I go into the news, I want to say that I'm working on a schedule. Right now, I have other commitments. I'm trying to really get those out of the way. And once I get that out of the way, I'm probably going to have a longer show, separated in two parts, most likely. I'm going to have probably a news part with political analysis, blah, blah, blah. Then we're going to talk, and then a second hour will probably be, a second part, obviously this is more than an hour, but the second part will probably be about something else, either a subject, a topic, issue, or something like that. But it's going to be, once I get more energy to do this, believe me, it takes a lot of energy, it takes a lot of my time. But I really love to talk to people, and I really love to share my thoughts here. Even though most of it may not be that important, at least it's different than what you have always, you know, what we've been spoon-fed by the establishment, by the controllers, and the controllers of the gay community, and the controllers of this country. So I just wanted to say that. So we will go through that. I promised you that we were going to do this today, but many things have come up over the weekend. I have some family issues, but my commitments, as soon as I figure them out this week, I will be posting on the blog, therealjosesoto.blogspot.com. I will be posting very soon a schedule of the show, so that way people can understand what days we'll be posting and what days we'll be doing the show. As far as going live, we haven't decided that yet. Probably by the end of the year, we'll probably go live again, but doing live, you know, we had to have a more steady schedule there. So we're working on that. I'm working on that mostly, but I'm gonna need some help. So I'm trying to get somebody else to help me with this. And we're gonna do this probably at another place. I'm not sure where, but you know, I just want to make sure that, you know, I start out this show and to continue and moving on. Because there are so many things I want to cover, so many things I want to touch bases again, talk about new issues and new events and news articles and all these things that we need to talk about. And of course, I want to talk about you. Please send me your questions via YouTube or via my website. You can also do that on my blog. I don't typically read the comments on any of these broadcasts on YouTube. I usually do read sometimes the inbox, but if you have sent me an email, sometimes I don't read them, so it may take a while for me to read them, but I will try to get to your email as soon as I can. You may also contact me through thegayreport.net. I'm usually there every day, so that would be actually the fastest way to contact me, or through Twitter. Contact me through Twitter and I will get your message at The Real Jose Soto. That's my profile on Twitter. You can go ahead and follow me, and then if you're interested, I'll follow you. That's how it works. Okay? So let's get to the news, shall we? Now here's an interesting article. I read this and I was like, wow. Totally unexpected, but of course I'm not surprised. Manhattan businessman's will ordered gay son to marry woman who gave birth to his child. That's right. Where there's a will, there's a gay. A dear old dad left behind a final, unthinkable request for his gay son. Get married to a woman! Ooh. Now this is a screenplay right here, ready to be made. I would watch a movie about this. This is totally movie material. The edict surfaced in the will of Manhattan businessman Frank Mandelbaum, who specified that none of his money should go to any offspring his son Robert might have if he not be married to the child's mother within 6 months of the child's birth. Frank Mandelbaum, 73, died in 2007, and his will prompted Robert Mandelbaum, a Manhattan criminal court judge. I didn't know he was a judge. To argue in court battle over the estate that his longtime partner Jonathan O'Donnell is the only mother their 16-month-old son Cooper knows. Well, that's interesting. I wonder how this turns out. The couple married shortly after Cooper's birth via a surrogate, entitling the child to a share in a $180,000 trust set aside for Frank Mandelbaum's 3 grandkids, Robert declared. The Manhattan Surrogates Court has yet to approve a settlement to ignore Frank Mandelbaum's demand as discriminatory and against New York law. The settlement is the only way to solve the dispute over Cooper. Robert Mandelbaum claims in court papers because the will imposes, quote, a general restraint on marriage by compelling Robert Mandelbaum to enter into a sham marriage, which he says violates state law supporting marriage equality. Actually, it violates many other laws, and if I read this correctly, this is fraud. A will cannot coerce somebody to commit a crime, and I do believe that getting married in a sham marriage is a fraud in many respects. And to gain money out of this is also, that adds on probably a violation of RICO laws. Yeah. A law guardian appointed to look out for Cooper's interest agreed that there are, quote, significant public policy reasons for ignoring the dad's dictate. Requiring a gay man to marry a woman to ensure his child's bequest is tantamount to expecting him either to live in celibacy or to engage in an extramarital activity with another man, and is therefore contrary to public policy. And Bidarka wrote in court papers, there is no doubt that what Frank Mandelbaum has sought to do is induce Robert to marry a woman. That would be interesting. Let's say that I leave a will to my sons, adopted sons, and then I tell them, the only way you're gonna get my money, bitch, you marry a man. As the only way. I mean, how would that work? I mean, if I were to do that, I mean, I would be a total douche. I mean, what a douchebag will request his son, I mean, to marry somebody that he doesn't love. I mean, what the hell is that? What a douche. People with money. Oh, you think people with money have it all good? They're well educated. No, please. People are fucking corrupt. They're brainless. The child's birth complicated an already sour dispute over the handling of Frank Mandelbaum's estate, prompting Mandelbaum's wife, Anne Freeman, to say in court papers that Robert, quote, alleged that he had a son from a homosexual relationship in which he believed should be a beneficiary. My husband's will specifically prohibited such a child from becoming a beneficiary. Frank Mandelbaum, the founder of ID verification company IntelliCheck, was well aware that his son was gay, Robert claimed in court papers, noting that his partner was included in family dinners and vacations. Well, that's a way to really engrave your memory by pissing off your son after you're dead. I mean, you probably already pissed off your son while you were alive. Now you're pissing him off when you're dead? Come on. This is ridiculous. It's totally ridiculous. Wow. I mean, can you imagine? Dad's supposed to leave you something in his will, and he tells you, oh, go marry a man, go marry a woman. What the fuck? Can't do that. Oh well. Now here's another news article I want to talk about. Same-sex couple in Henderson, which is a city in Nevada, upset with hospital's treatment. On the wall of their Henderson home, Brittany Leon and Terry Ann Simonelli proudly display their certificate of domestic partnership. Under 2009 state law, the document gives them all the rights of married couples, or so they thought. When Leon, 26, checked into Spring Valley Hospital on July 20th with complications in her pregnancy, she assumed that her partner, Simonelli, 41, could make any necessary medical decisions if she suffered unforeseen problems. But that's not what happened. They said an admissions officer told them the hospital policy required gay partners to secure power of attorney before making any medical decisions for each other. They protested, even offering to go home and return with their domestic partnership document. But they said the admissions officer told them that didn't matter. Simonelli would need a power of attorney. Considering Leon's condition, Simonelli wasn't in a position to argue or spend hours running to a law office, but the admission officer's words left them devastated in a moment that they already were under extreme stress. Leon ended up losing her baby. Well, that's sad news. Quote, I am usually a big fighter, but I was so emotionally upset. It was a very bad day for us, said Simonelli, a hotel parking valet and website designer. Quote, we went there thinking we had the state's backing, and then we were told we were wrong. It didn't matter that we were registered domestic partners. It should matter. Close quote. A woman who identified herself as public relations representative at Spring Valley Hospital told a Review Journal reporter in a phone interview that the hospital policy requires gay couples have power of attorney in order to make medical decisions for each other. When asked if she was aware of Nevada's domestic partnership law, she accused the reporter of bias and hung up the telephone. The law states, quote, domestic partners have the same rights, protections, and benefits and are subject to the same responsibilities, obligations, and duties under the law whether derived from statutes, administrative regulations, court rules, government policies, common law, or any other provisions or sources of law, as are granted to and imposed upon spouses. Gay marriage is prohibited in Nevada by constitutional amendment, so domestic partners are not considered legally married, but they have the same rights under law as married couples. See, that's the problem. You have one hand this, and you have one hand that you have a constitutional amendment that says that they're not a family. Then you have another piece of law that says that they are like a family. Remember, the domestic partnership laws are copies of the marriage laws, but they are not marriages at all. They're not. So when people tell me, Jose, we don't need gay marriage, why are the gays looking for this? Why are they pestering with this? Well, here is an example, ladies and gentlemen, of why I'm talking about domestic partnership laws. Certificates mean nothing. They're worthless. They're not even worth the paper they're printed on. Domestic partner certificates, power of attorney, anything of that, all that shit can be challenged in court, and a judge can willy-nilly rip up any contract that was made. And it happens all the time in civil court. It happens all the time. I have contracts with people, and they always deviate from the contract. And when I go to court, and I had a problem with this, they said, "Oh, but the contract, yeah, but it also says," and it doesn't say that. But then the judge rules in their favor, and I lose. Right? That happens. But people don't want to understand. People think that with, oh, well, you already have civil unions. You already have civil unions. Marriage laws are different. Marriage is already understood to what it is. It is a relationship, exclusive from all other relationships, and that's what makes it different from a civil union. You get that? Alright. And I keep telling people, domestic partnerships, civil unions, whatever you want to call this, these little arrangements, they can be destroyed. It has no value. Anybody can ignore these laws, break the law, like they did in Nevada, and say, no, you're not really a couple because you're not married. Doesn't matter if there's domestic partnership, civil union, doesn't matter. These little contracts, power of attorney, even the power of attorney, it can be challenged by a hospital staff. And it can. And I've seen this happen all the time. So for gay cons, homo cons, conservatives, anybody else, any stupid, mindless drone telling me that all you need is power of attorney, all you need is a domestic partnership, all you need is civil union. Read this article. We have it linked up on the GaryReport.net, and I want you to think that through once more, buddy. Well, that's it for our show. Take care. Good night. This is the Jose Soto Show.